Well, today didn't quite go as planned. Welcome to One Man's Trash, where I share my stories of buying abandoned storage lockers and my journey of reselling and talking through some of the trials and tribulations. So this week, I didn't really have a whole lot to talk about. I was going to go with the theme of losses because last week I bought a locker and turned out to not be a great one. Lost a couple bucks, but today definitely delivered plenty of stuff to talk about. So I picked up 3 lockers this morning. It was cold and wet. It wasn't rainy, but it was a lot of ice yesterday, so it was all melting. And the prices on the lockers closing today were quite cheap. So I bought 3 small lockers and decided to go grab a truck. I figured it'd be a quick pickup, quick to sort through. Rented a smaller truck, just so I could get it done in one trip versus 2 or 3 with the car. And get about halfway there and pick up a flat tire in the U-Haul. So that's a first for me. It got fixed remarkably quick. Shout out to the roadside assistance crew. I still sing U-Haul's praises. We'll find out. This will definitely be part 1 of part 2, so I'll find out tomorrow. So I had called my car insurance prior to renting these U-Hauls because I knew I'd be doing it pretty regularly. And when you rent a U-Haul, they give you the insurance option. So my insurance was pretty clear in that I'd be covered in case of any collision or anything like that, and roadside assistance as well. Should have asked specifically about changing a tire because this screw that got in this tire, who knows where it came from. The road right outside of the U-Haul location has been under construction for about a year, so very likely right around there. But again, once I drive off the lot, that's my ownership, so I'll find out how that chalks up. So U-Haul sent it out, so I'll probably be on the hook for the bill for that. But again, live and learn. Definitely was a setback, so my goal is to get in and out of there pretty quick. 3 units at the same place. I actually got through 2 of them, so cue my interim check-in. All right, picked up 3 units today. Got the U-Haul, small U-Haul, and decided to go about 30 miles out further than normal. Managed to pull a flat tire, so this will be a first experience. We'll see how that goes with U-Haul. I'll be sure to share how that goes. Waiting about an hour and a half. Facility closes in about an hour, so this is probably the largest facility spread out wise. So even though I can't move the truck, I got my hand truck and I'm running loads back and forth. Probably gonna have to come back in the morning for the 3rd one because it is a heck of a trek down the way, but making the most of it. Should have 2 out of 3 cleared out before the flat gets fixed, and learning lesson there. So that was in the middle of, I actually got to the facility. The screw had held the tire pressure really well. I was right down the street from the facility. So actually, now that I reflect on it, I probably picked up the screw on the highway or something, but I've almost never picked one up on the highway. It's usually in a different location. So right down the street from the facility, the tire pressure gauge popped on the dashboard, pulled into the parking lot, and then took a look. It was identified the screw in there, and then after about 15 minutes, that thing was getting quite flat. So decided to check in, get the locker squared away, and then call the insurance while I was cleaning out the lockers. Call the roadside assistance because I knew I'd be waiting. So instead of backing into the loading dock like I normally do, took my hand cart and was running laps, and definitely was a leg day today. So luckily they were small lockers. I'll definitely show more next week with the highlights of them. Normally I'll do a video opening the locker. Was too flustered with all that, so I'll take screenshots of the actual lockers themselves. Still have my favorite one tomorrow. Tomorrow is the one that I actually wanted the most and won today. So it's all black trash bags with a good layer of dust on them. I love that. And there's an older TV in there, which obviously I have no interest in, but that kind of puts you back towards, it's likely to be some stuff that's been sitting there for a while. So I'm excited to get through that one already. Even though it was a frustrating day, I already got home, made a good meal, sorted out the stuff from the truck, so I got all the trash ready to go to the dump tomorrow. Took about a bin worth of stuff that sorted out that gonna sell. Did pretty good on those two. These were more of just pickups that I was already buying a locker, so I got both of these. One was $90 and one was $60, and not too hard to bite the bullet on that. It's a 50-50. Like last week, I threw 100 on one and got maybe $20 or $40 worth of sellable items from it, but it was quick. So some highlights from today. This paid for about half of the unit, so got some. That was loud. Got some novelty. This one's a novelty, a jumbo 1885 nickel or 5-cent coin. That's not worth much. Happy to send that someone's way if they want it. It's like a couple dollars. It's a replica, but silver dollar. So there's a $20 bill there, and then just some face value. So $1 coin and 1950s $1 bill. So there's half of it. Got a couple books already listed, about $50 worth of books that are all ranked pretty well on Amazon. So those will sell. One's probably already sold by the end of this video. The other, I think it was 3 books totaling about $50. So between that and the cash, that clears today's lockers, and then I'm in for about 200 on tomorrow. So we'll see. And then I've got probably another 100 or so for that flat tire. Maybe 2. We'll see. But today's kind of coolest item so far. I haven't dug through everything, but actually I have dug through everything. I haven't looked up and researched everything. So I've got my initial sort where I look through stuff for what I think is worth selling, clearly delineating the trash and the donate stuff, and then I'll do one more sort as I go through that bin to list the items, and if they're not worth listing, I'll do a second run to the thrift store. So CB radio. So I got a CB radio in the locker with a bunch of car parts, and there's some other stuff in there. But haven't seen one in forever, so I'll be tinkering with it, and then see a couple comps on eBay between $50 and $100. Condition's probably the biggest issue, so even if it's under that, that's a nice icing, and it's looking promising that this will be a pretty profitable one, assuming I don't go broke on the car trouble. So stay tuned for part 2 next week. I'll put it off till next week and recap some of the items that were in tomorrow's locker, as well as the closeout of how does it work when you need to call roadside assistance for U-Haul, and am I going to regret not paying for that insurance every time I rent the U-Haul? So hopefully there's some good advice that I can pass down, learn from my experiences. But all in all, fun day. Was able to get a lot done in a relatively short time, and still got all my other personal and professional stuff done before and after it. So stay tuned for more. We'll be back next Tuesday as always with some more One Man's Trash, whether you're following on YouTube or on any of the audio tracks. I'm trying to do better at clarifying things, so you're not just having to see it visually, you can actually hear it out. But drop a follow, like, all that good stuff. Comment if you want to see particular stuff. I'm trying to work in on the weeks where I'm not buying lockers, where I'm talking on some reseller topics. And this inadvertently became some advice with finding out about the U-Haul stuff. So I'll check in next week. Thanks for tuning in and listening to me talk to myself to document my journey. Take it easy.